If you've been struggling in your relationships, going through difficult times, just trying to figure out why things always end up the way they do, this one's for you, from my heart to yours. We often find ourselves entangled in the intricate web of relationships. This journey, rich in its complexity, sometimes becomes a maze where every turn seems hauntingly familiar, echoing past encounters and emotions. It was in this labyrinth that I found myself, perpetually encountering shadows of the same relationship, regardless of the different faces and places. Each relationship, though blooming like a vibrant flower, would inevitably wither into a familiar pattern of neglect, misunderstanding, and unfulfilled promises. In this cycle of repetition, I stood at a crossroads, weary and seeking answers. It was in this moment of profound questioning that I stumbled upon a beacon of understanding, a concept that would illuminate my path and change my perception of relationships forever. The theory of Imago therapy, rooted in the Latin word Imago, meaning an unconscious, idealized mental image of someone especially apparent which influences a person's behavior. This concept unravels the enigmatic pattern of our adult relationships being subtly shaped by our early childhood experiences. Pioneered by Dr. Harville Hendricks and Dr. Helen Kelly Hunt in 1980, Imago relationship therapy is not just a therapeutic approach, but a journey towards self-discovery and healing, turning conflict into stepping stones for growth and deeper connections. If you haven't heard of it, you should definitely check it out. Imagine a child whose innocence and vulnerability are met with criticism or neglect. These early scars etch deep into their psyche, resurfacing later in life within the realms of their most intimate relationships. The criticism they once endured now becomes a hypersensitive trigger in the presence of a partner. The abandonment and neglect, once a shadow in their childhood, now loom over their adult commitments. This intricate dance of past and present forms the crux of our relational challenges. Imago therapy offers a lens to view these core issues not as mere relationship hurdles, but as portals to understanding and empathizing with our deepest childhood wounds. It's a journey towards a conscious relationship where healing is mutual and growth is shared. It beckons us to see our partners not as adversaries, but as allies in healing our deepest, often unacknowledged wounds. The revelation that struck me most profoundly was the realization that my struggles were not just with my partner, but with my own imago, a complex construct shaped by my early caregivers. This imago, born from every unmet need, fear, and pain of my childhood, became a blueprint of my relational expectations. We all, in our own ways, respond to those unmet needs, either through overt expressions like incessant crying or through inward retreat, denying our own needs. As we grow, society molds us further, teaching us what is acceptable and lovable, and in the process, we often lose touch with parts of our true selves. When love blossoms, it feels like a homecoming, a return to our original state of joyful aliveness. Life gains color, our conversations deepen, and our true selves seem to emerge and flourish. In this euphoria, we feel complete, safe, and authentically alive. But this bliss is often short-lived. As this relationship matures, especially through milestones like marriage or cohabitation, the veil of illusion lifts. We begin to see our partners not as idealized figures, but as real flawed humans. The traits we once admired now chafe, and old wounds resurface, shattering our dreams and leaving us in a state of disillusionment and fear. In our desperation to cling to the love and safety we thought was ours, we resort to various tactics: anger, withdrawal, negotiation, in an attempt to salvage the relationship. This marks the beginning of a power struggle that can last years, often ending in separation of a fragile truce. This turmoil, I learned, is a dance with our imago partner, someone who paradoxically is perfectly ill-suited to fulfill our deep-seated needs. Driven by our primal need to recapture our lost sense of wholeness, we unconsciously seek partners who embody the very qualities that wounded us in childhood. Ironically, while we consciously seek positive traits, it is the negative aspects of our caretakers that are most deeply imprinted in our imago. For these are the traits linked to our deepest pains and our most fervent desires for healing. In this pursuit of love, when we feel that euphoric resonance, our primal brain celebrates, believing we have found the one who can finally fulfill our unmet needs. But this joy is short-lived as the reality of our partner's shortcomings become apparent, often prompting us to flee. Complicating this further is our unconscious yearning for traits we've repressed in ourselves. The shy seek the outgoing, the disorganized are drawn to the methodical. Yet when confronted with these traits in our partners, they stir our own dormant feelings leading to discomfort and criticism. My journey through Imago therapy was not just about understanding these dynamics, but about transcending them. It taught me a new way of communicating, a language of the heart that empowered me to start a healing process that has now come full circle. I learned to love not as a means to heal myself, but to love for the sake of love itself. If you see your own reflection in my story, I encourage you to explore Dr. Harville Hendrix and Dr. Helen LaKelly Hunt's transformative work in Getting the Love You Want. The book completely changed my life. It might just be the key to unlocking the door to the relationships you've always yearned for, just as it was for me. In this journey of self-discovery, we are often left with more questions than answers. Who are we really beneath the layers of social conditioning and childhood imprints? How do our deepest wounds shape our quest for love and connection? And perhaps most importantly, how can we break free from the cyclical patterns of our past to forge relationships that are rooted in healing, understanding, and authentic love? The journey is complex, but within its complexity lies the beauty of transformation and the promise of a love that is conscious, whole, and deeply fulfilling. If you love this is just one of the thoughts from my upcoming book, I Hope You Wake Up. If you go to ihopeyouwakeup.com, which is the link in the bio, you can read more. Normally, I take a little bit of time after this to actually dive deep into my own thoughts, but this truly was a sharing from my own heart, from falling in love with people who always seemed to come out the same and having my heart broken and feeling like they just didn't understand me, to recognizing that it was actually me looking for what I hadn't had as a child and trying to fix those relationships through my romantic relationships. It changed everything. So go out, make sure to check out the book, make sure to check out my book, and let me know what you think. If you love this content, make sure to put something in the comments, whether it be telling me you love it, that you want more, what subjects you want me to cover, because I'm writing the book right now, and make sure to pre-order your copy. I love you all very much. I'm thankful for you from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you nothing but the best. Peace.